Join me. Imagine what we could accomplish together.
I'll join the team, be an X-Man.
We are the future, Charles, not them.
What do you think, I'm stupid?
You and I are not so different.
You can't keep denying what you are, man.
Because I'm the best there is at what I do.
You, me, we're exceptional. The power of the sun in the palm of my hand. I chose my path, you chose the way of the hero.
Plague, war, famine, morality doesn't even enter into it.
I've heard these arguments before.
Think about it, hero!
You are watching
Move, Move, Throw,
a Marvel Crisis Protocol podcast.
I am Charles, also known as Omnis.
I am Danny, Irish Smart Like Rock.
Hey, we did it! Successful intro. Danny, it's like we're professionals.
We can finally learn and achieve so much better in life.
Yeah, I was just listening to Danger Room earlier today, and they're like, we suck at intros. Like, everybody else has got their intro, like, so much more figured out, and they feel like they're stumbling each time. Actually, it's funny, like, Alfredo's also was talking about intros in the last one, which they actually had a pretty funny one where they were, like, trying to do in height order, which was talking about everybody's heights. With, by the way, Vince, everybody who is 5'10", 5'11", tells everyone that they're 6 foot, which confuses everyone who's 6 foot, because they're like being told, no, you're taller than me and I'm 6 foot. It's like, it's the most normal guy conversation that ever happens.
Yes. It's all about height.
Well, first off, I just wanted to share, I really enjoyed painting Ironmonger. Like, I love that dude.
It is a beautiful sculpt. Yeah. And I think that model is going to be very popular in the near future. He's fit a lot of lists.
Yeah.
Well,
he does
around.
He does make me a little bit nervous, right? Because there's a lot of time when like new stuff is dropping and the thing that everybody's excited about ends up not being the best thing in the box.
Yes, that is true.
Right? Like, but he's got a lot of like the core mechanics, right, that you kind of want out of a 3 that tends to make something like worth playing. But
yes,
we'll see
it's just like all the highlights there, like a damage reduction, a place, right? It has like a potential to drop extract. You're like, oh, the list. You're like, I love all of these things. Right? How could this be bad? I don't understand.
Good range on his attacks, like on his build. Like there's so much there to like. But yeah,
I just feel like a staple, at least a staple for affiliated. Right? Like, that's just going to be like a very easy sell to make. I do see your point about, being a splash model, but I could still see in affiliations that want to play sort of aggressively with extracts and go for it. Hey, I'm going to actually like bully you for your points and steal them that way. So I'll see going to that.
Storm X-Men has always wanted a very large base 3 cost to be hopping off of. So,
yes, especially a model that can move itself, so it can position itself properly for another model to hop off it. Like, that's like the big thing about Hulkbuster, right? Is that it can position itself for like the perfect hops.
Yep, 100%. Okay, so here's my warm-up topic that might be much larger than a warm-up topic. I was thinking about, so you know how new model comes out, right? And we tend to have this like checklist. It's like, oh, does it have action economy? Does it have displacement? Does it have, rerolls? Does it, you just kind of like, does it have damage reduction? Right. And you just kind of like go through the list of like the best abilities and you're like, nah, it doesn't have this thing. Like, I'm just going to forget about it. Right. And we kind of we all have that list, right? Where we just kind of run through it in our mind real quick. Like, does it
how you evaluate a model?
Yeah. And then sometimes there's characters that are just like really break the mold in like how they function. And you're like, this character is just better than like my checklist, right? Like that also happens. But the point of this is it got me thinking about what would actually be kind of, an optimal model for each of us and like for the listeners and watchers as well. Like what truly is your optimal model? And like, this is not trying to be like, hey, let's just break a model and like make it way too good. It's like, what if you actually could be, fine tuning a character who's like designed really specifically for you and your play style and like what sort of abilities would you want on it? And since I kind of sprung this on you, I figured if I go back, I would say Valkyrie was probably a perfect model for me. Now, might be a bad example because she got nerfed, right? So
Yeah.
broken ass three threat was like my jam. But there's a lot of things about that character. 3 costs, I could fit it in like any list, right? Like any point level, I could always like bring her in. She had displacement and a charge. And so even though a lot of time I'd use her for displacement, she was a model that like when I felt like I was in a position where I needed to fight, she could fight. And her fighting was interesting. She generally couldn't do everything where you're like, okay, well, I would like to Warrior of Legend, but I only have 2 power or 3 power or something. And you're like, if I Warrior of Legend now, and maybe it gives me a better chance of killing them, but then I don't have the throw if I go bad. Or do I not Warrior of Legend and do I just like save to the throw? So it made her fighting very interesting.
Yes.
And I felt like I was always making interesting tactical decisions with her. Now, obviously they increased the cost of her throw and they nerfed, Flurry, which was fine. I never Flurry wasn't like critical to what I thought was good about her. And then obviously drifted out of play like quite substantially, after her nerf. And I would argue that she is good now, but I'm not sure she would be broken or even like the most played 3 if her throw went back to costing 2. Not that would happen, but that's why I felt like I was a safe answer. Do you have any initial thoughts or you want me to give you another example while you're thinking?
Oh, no. There's like so many directions to go with this. I think you kind of have to initially break apart leaders and non-leaders because my idea of like a very well-designed 3-threat leader is like Miles or Sam Wilson, but I feel like Miles just has like a lot of things rolled into one where it's like, oh, he has stealth, he has a place, he has a steal, he has different attack types, he has a defensive tech on top of the stealth. He's still a spider person. Sure. He's a wall crawler. He's just got a lot in that package for a 3-3. He's doing a lot of things, but leaders tend to.
Miles is a pretty close to perfect character.
Like he's really good.
Checklist. Now, I would like to keep it like we're not talking about leaders necessarily. Like leaders would complicate this a lot, but I think Miles is another great example of just like very close to like my top list, and maybe that means I should play Miles more often. I always like feel like I should.
But a more reasonable 3-threat that I actually really liked, that I really enjoyed playing in Convocation was Iron Fist. I feel like he has a lot of choices. So what I think of 3-threats are models that generally do something pretty well or give me some sort of unique function.
Okay.
Right. I like Zemo mostly because he's fast. Like the rerolls are cool and everything, but being able to charge Spender, right, is like a lot of movement into a move. You're like, I just walked across the board. Like you're not touching me. Get out of here.
Yeah.
And like very few models can just like match that sort of like table movement around.
He's very dynamic, right? Like you have a lot of like in and out plays. You have hit and run mechanics.
But that's how I sort of evaluate 3s. It's less about, do they have a strict checklist? And it's more like, what are they actually trying to accomplish on this board?
Yeah.
Like, what is it like they're trying to do here? The reason why I like Iron Fist is that, hey, he has a place in that kick, right? His basic builder is electric type, which is not common for a lot of models.
Yeah.
And stun is always generically good. He has counting blinks and he has it at a larger range than most. Right, because he is a better martial artist. He's a master, right?
Yeah,
obviously a bro. And then the fact that like his Spender just has like a very unique trigger to it. It's like, oh, you're just done. You're like, what? Oh, and an explosion happened. You're like, what? Like, yep, everything dies. And so it's a model where like if you don't know about it, it's less like the Black Capper. Like if you haven't interacted with this model before, you're like, wait, what do they do? You're like, exactly.
I think you and I both clue in on like unique things within a character where we're like, we start finding the situations where it's really good to use them. Right. And then you're like, oh, but unless you're specifically practicing in this model and the way that I play them, then it's not, you're not going to be as prepared for what I'm planning to do as you would think. Now I didn't necessarily mean this to be like just 3 costs as like a 4th threat.
Yeah.
I would say when Logan came out, he was kind of a perfect character for me, right? I wanted to play pay to flips. He had 4 physical, 4 energy. He was affiliated in what I wanted to play. He had really solid offensive output, so I could like be aggressive. And then his interaction with like exceptional healing meant that like he could live like through big spikes and stuff and like kind of mitigate some of that spike potential. And he played the game just a little bit of a different way, right? He had displacement, but it was tied to making attacks and then the way you would place and manipulate his beams and such. And so honestly, thinking about this topic did make me go, should I go back and like, I haven't played Logan in quite a while. There was a point where I was playing him, which is funny, like right around Adepticon, the last time we went, dude, I just wanted to fucking play Logan and everything. Logan was my guy. You know,
I mean, he's really good, right? Like, especially in the duel.
We played our game, and you just couldn't kill Logan. I played sacrifice, I played exceptional healing. You do not get to usurp the throne on Logan. Too good. So, but like when you think about this stuff, do you think there are core elements to a character where you're like, that makes a perfect character for me? Cause there's certainly a lot of great characters that come out where I'm like, I'm not super interested in playing this guy. Like he is good, but not necessarily in a way that's enjoyable for me. Like I have no desire to play Cosmic Ghost Rider, even when he was at his best, right? Like I had no desire to be the Cosmic Ghost Rider guy when we did WTC.
The reason why I made the comparison of 3 threats is that 3 threats by nature can't do everything. They seem to be more limited in that way. And once you get to like 4
Except
and 5
Miles.
threats,
Miles can do everything.
They tend to have more just, defensive tech or ability or like ability to affect like the board state around them. So it's like getting way more hard to quantify. I think it's much harder to quantify 4s and 5s and how they fit the thing, especially when you can talk about leaders and how that all interacts with each other, because they're most certainly 4 threat and 5 threat leaders that I think are kind of boring, but their leaderships are good. And so it's like the reverse situation where the leadership is carrying the model. And it's like, well, I think the model's kind of okay, but the rest of it's good. So I guess that's something, right? But it's such, when I think of a model, I almost always try to think of what is this model trying to accomplish, right? Like, what is the ideal situation where this model is like pulling all the cool tricks, gets to do everything? It's like, is there a way to make this actually happen? And that's how I evaluate a model is actually useful or not to me. It's like, Miles is good in and of himself, but Miles in a leadership that gives him power becomes amazing. Like, turn 1 starts doing ridiculous stuff that you don't expect him to start doing. Or you have like damage output with him where he's going in and starts like killing people. And all of a sudden his throws start mattering all of a sudden. But at like the higher levels, it is such an interesting dynamic that it's hard for me to sort of pin down. It's way easier for me to talk about 3s than it is to talk about 4s.
Yes. Yeah. 4s, there's obviously a lot more room. But so if I start going, like, say, like I'm making the checklist, right? Like obviously being able to throw terrain is not critical to me, like super enjoying a character, right?
Yes.
It's not an ability that I have any problem having as part of the kit, but it's certainly not critical. But so I was realizing probably the character that I would say might be my most perfect character, and I have been playing them, is Spectacular Spider-Man.
Oh, your boy. Yeah.
Right. I like him because they did the gainer. If we go back 4 or 5 years, I was making an argument, and this was like after the first LVO, post-COVID. And I made an argument that they needed to have more gainers. And everybody who was at the table looked at me like I was kind of fucking crazy. Where I was like, there was too many characters with builders that were throwing off the economics, and they needed to play around with the gainer mechanic more. And I would still say I would argue possibly one of the biggest mistakes of MCP is actually just how many characters have builders that shouldn't. And you've certainly, I would say, the MCP design has certainly proved me right in this particular discussion over the years, where they played around with this a whole lot more of, who doesn't. But it applies directly to Spectacular Spider-Man, because Spectacular Spider-Man would be fucking busted with a builder. right? Like if he has a builder, that character is just too good for a 3, but they gave him a gainer. And so like he's slightly above average in durability, right? He's got a character throw. You make really interesting decisions, and you often can't do everything with him. Even after he gets attacked, you still often can't do quite everything. And
yes. You can do a lot of things though. There's some interesting stuff you can do, especially with the text cards. Like you can just get buck wild.
And web swing is also, so I was thinking about like, so obviously we want, like, if we're building an optimal character for us, would you say optimal character has to have action economy for you? If you're building your kind of your perfect character for their value, right? We have an Emma, right, who exists, who's really fucking good, but doesn't have action economy. But as much as I like Emma, she's probably not my perfect character.
This is where the fork in the road between us starts.
Yeah.
Because when we were talking about throws earlier, I offset action economy with throws. It's like, if you can't move yourself to attack, having some sort of displacement is like, well, at least you can like get rid of someone instead. Like if you can't hurt them, toss them, right? Like, sure.
See, I consider them totally different. I know a lot of people are like you where they roll in that, displacement movement, in with action economy. And I just don't consider them the same thing. A character having the action economy of like, being able to get an additional movement somewhere is pretty critical, and I don't think that directly swaps. But one of my thoughts is so one of the things that's annoyed me in the past is say characters like Steve Rogers Captain America and Zemo 2, where they have like a spend 2 to like move, but they can't do it holding an objective, which
is kind of goofy.
Which is kind of dumb to me when it's like all the spiders can web swing and they can all do that with an objective, right? And so that was always the thing. Like clearly I'd want action economy, but it would not be like you can't do this while you're holding an objective. So I was like, is it web swing? Is web swing my optimal? Because there is a downside to web swing, which is you cannot perfectly place at ranges, right? Like if I'm web swinging onto the point, I can't web swing to the exact range 1 from the objective. I can't web swing to exactly within range 4 or, exactly, outside of range 2. Like you can't do that kind of precision placement because you already have the range tool out. So there is certainly an advantage to getting a bonus movement, but I was trying to think of anyone in the game who had, has that like spend 2, get a medium move or whatever that can do it with an objective. Obviously there's lots of small moves. Like I really actually like Punisher's, special forces. I forget what it's called.
I think it's special forces.
Yeah. Where it just costs 2 like short move. I actually really like Psylocke as well. The like gain dice short move as like
move
different than charging. But so back to the question, do you think having action economy is critical to being like your ultimate character, or is that even important?
It really goes back to the earlier point, right? Like you do separate them, but in my head, it's that you really can't weigh all the way towards action economy or not. And the reason why I even think about that is that the action economy characters generally lack displacements. And I so value displacements. And that's why I think like it's like balance between these two things. And there aren't very many characters that have action economy and displacement. That's why it makes Miles ridiculous, right?
Well, I mean, there's a lot. Like, it depends on the threat level, but right, like
yeah. Well, how about this? That's what makes those models tend to be rated very highly because of that ability. Right? Yeah, you get the combination of these two factors. So when you think about it from that point of view, right? Like this ultimate combo of characters, like having the ability to move yourself and move other people without spending an action, which is really about displacing yourself or displacing other people. It is like a very important factor because at the end of the day, right? Being able to move and positioning is so important to this game. Being able to do it without spending one of your 2 vital actions or doing it as like a part of like a charge or something, like being able to combine it with something else and getting free actions is like the most efficient thing to do. So yeah, I guess by nature that has to be the best ability.
So one of the funny, when I was thinking through this, right, I was just kind of thinking like, okay, well, if I'm building a character, right, like, and I'm kind of going through the list of kind of common abilities, because I don't think it's weird to have, action economy and displacement on a character. It certainly exists. All three of the characters that I mentioned as my favorites, like, even though Logan has it, his action economy is different, right? No, Ulik still has wild push on his builder. So Ulik,
I'm saying he has both. I'm saying like there are several models that do have both. I'm not saying that they don't, right?
There's a lot that have it.
But they're really good.
Yeah. But they like each do it in a little way. And I like how Logan's is very creative, right? Where it's a place off of his builder or his spender is his action economy, but it still exists. And you can still kind of trap him out of it. And so like part of the skill, like the mini game of him is to not get yourself into a situation where you essentially don't have action economy.
Yes.
But one of my thought processes was like, obviously I do like charge a lot. I think I prefer charge to hit and run. I think they're both very good and I wouldn't be like sad about either one. I think I would slightly prefer a web swing, but that's not critical. Then if I'm going for like, okay, someone has a builder, you have whatever the appropriate amount of dice is for your character's power level. Like what sort of wild effect would you want on it of like the range of wild effects for the most part? And like wild throw is probably the best, or like
wild throw
die
is
roll,
pretty quick, 'cause it's displacement and a damage, and you potentially throw into another character. Yeah. And like the crazy wild is throw any direction. That's like the absolute most bananas throw too. Yeah. Right? Like, you can do what? You're like, yeah, I'm gonna throw you closer to me. You're like, no.
Yeah. And then obviously like having like a character throw built in, like I can actually throw you. And then I was like, wait a second. I was like, OG4 hits on all of these notes, but I don't like playing him. I mean, he's even got like a defensive stat line that I like. He's got multiple power generation, right? Like everything on him. And I'm like, is it just that I dislike Thor? Is that why I don't want to play him?
He's very boring.
Yeah.
Regular old Thor.
But I think part of what I don't like about Thor is that, like, I think he has a super boring spender. I don't care for his spender. And so the decision trees with him don't get interesting, right? They're very rarely do I find that, like, I get to make really interesting plays with him. I do like his range 5 shock you with a hammer.
Yeah.
Like, that's definitely solid. But I think there would be, like, something interesting there where doing something that kind of like makes his play patterns get like interesting in like key games, and I'm just not sure his spender quite accomplishes that.
Like what was so debilitating fighting against defenders was the Bill shock and the hex, right? Getting both at the same time. So like I could see the hammer toss being very good. I've very much been thinking about Thor. And I think he hits
because you're getting into Asgard. Like, makes perfect sense. Solves a lot of,
that leadership solves a lot of problems, that you run into. You're like, actually, that's not a problem. I'm fine. I heal through it. It's fine. Just roll through it.
Yeah.
But he himself, again, is very boring. His play pattern is you have the power to for Asgard. You try to initiate, see what happens, get some stagger in, maybe throw. If you can't, you maybe throw a hammer and you stand around.
Well, and see, that's where, if I was designing on the surface level, that Thor is probably nearly perfect. But Jane Foster, if I was designing a character, I probably wouldn't design her. But in actual play, I like her quite a bit. She still has a charge effect, right? And I prefer her for Midgard versus for Asgard, because I would rather have the reroll too than the damage for stagger, right? Because it's like, it's just like, it feels so much worse, right? When you're like, when you go and do that and then you get like nothing. Like, happens. I don't even get the stagger. Like I get nothing. Yeah. Whereas the rerolls, you're like, well, at least I've got a chance to like try to reroll into like the wild throw or something on her hammer. But she still has displacement because it's tied to her builder. So the fact she doesn't have a character throw is fine. And like her spender and the fact that she has a range 3 attack make her kind of, just like how her turns, like the sort of decision trees on her turns, much more interesting and much more dynamic, which just like makes me favor playing her so much more than playing OG Thor.
Yeah. You just got me thinking about Asgard. So I was like staring at this, like, well, because at this point, like, it's really that OG Thor is like a support bot, and he's just there to sort of like mitigate. Like, I'm going to shock these bottles are a threat to Mighty Thor, and she can kind of get out of trouble with the leadership or kind of like roll through things. I'm like, but what's the rest of the list doing? Right?
Yeah.
And that's like 10 points. This is like the whole problem of Asgard. It's like they do like 3 5s, then have like a 2. But then there's no 2, and I was like, okay, well then it's like a 3, like a 4 and a 3. And I was like, oh man. I do love the idea of Enchantress. I just don't know if she fits in this world. And it's like this list that I'm like thinking of. I like the idea of her.
Yeah. Well, why don't we transition into our next topic, which is what are we actually planning to bring to Adepticon? Because I'm hoping that I can bring models with all of the recording equipment and stuff that I'm bringing. I'm hoping that it's still feasible, but I was like, all right, if I am, which models are coming? And so you have not had a chance to start diving into Asgard yet. Is Asgard like 100% like the next, or is it still in
So what happened is that a while ago I won the affiliation box. Like back in like I think August or September.
Go
like
Danny. Go Danny.
And then I got that, and then I got one of the other boxes as like a price support a while ago, and I was like, oh, I should like probably play these guys. So I have like all the models I basically need. I already have Bill, everything there. I have Angela. Everything else is painted. It's just like the newer models are not. I already have Scourge. I already have Enchantress. Like, who do I not have? I don't have Hela. Yeah, I don't have Hela. And I just need to buy the new critical. Box. Yeah, I just need to buy the new box. That's all. But outside of that, I think I pretty much have everything else. I even have Heimdall.
I mean, he did come with Scourge. It would be kind of weird if you had Scourge and not Heimdall. I'm like, how did that happen?
Well, I even have Heimdall assembled. Like, all of this is assembled, except for the affiliation box. I just hadn't got around to doing that. I think it would be fun to try that. Very interesting models.
Are you planning to bring Asgardians to Adepticon to start experimenting with them?
No, like the problem is all bare plastic.
You can't fucking play all bare plastic. That's disgraceful. To anyone who plays all bare plastic.
More power to you.
Sorry about it. Like I totally get that like painting is not for everyone, but like every time someone was like, you know what, I was listening to your show, you talked about painting just enough. I finally painted my first team like how much they like loved having a fully painted team.
They roll better. So, I promise.
Like I get it. I'm not trying to like, I know that not everybody like painting takes time. It is its own privilege. I definitely get it. But, he's like, Danny, you, I got to hold you to a painting standard. You know,
responsible, right?
They have to look as clean and fine as your new haircut. You know, they gotta look tight and refined. You know,
I want to look good for next week. Look responsible.
I think I will be playing one more like beard cleanup before Adepticon, where I'm in good shape. I kind of have the shape that I want, but I got to do a touch up before.
Yeah, so I think I will be playing Cyclops still for the time that we have to do events and everything. Okay. And that'll be fun to play so I can play painted. But once I go through, like I have an event this weekend, let's go with that. I think it'll be time to start getting ready to paint and play Asgard. It'll be very fun. I'm also very excited to see what the future holds here for new models and toys.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm also trying to figure out like so I definitely, if I'm bringing models, I'd like to bring Ironmonger because I just like to play him, and he's just a cool looking dude, and I feel like he can go in a lot of different things. But I'm also trying to figure out, it's like, can I bring like a full list that also has multiple potential separation anxiety teams within the list? right? So I'm like building little 11. Can I build a cool roster that also like, you know, but the weird thing was like with Cabal, I was like, so say I play Cabal, like it'd be pretty easy to play like Red Skull, Zemo, Ironmonger, and then like some other cool fours. Like I think Yondu be super dope in Red Skull Cabal. And so I could definitely do something like that, right? Where I have different mixes within that, but I'd love to have another leader option as well. Like, I don't think Red Skull is going to like, you know, keep me perfectly engaged. So there's definitely a part of me I was like, what about Ironmonger in the X-Mans?
Yes. I think it's like fun times and play a bunch of stuff we get to hang out with. I think it'll be just a lot of fun seeing people at like this bigger event, right? And there's like a lot of things going on too.
So then I guess to like dig into that question, is it just you're going to bring your Cyclops roster, or does it change at all, or like?
I've been messing around with scenarios a bit again, so I may change those around. And I just have not used Children of the Atom. Every time I think I'm going to use it, I end up not using it. I don't know. I probably in my head I should keep it just for the one chance that it comes off and actually matters.
I keep playing against X-Men and they have Children of the Atom, and I forget that they have Children of the Atom, and it ends up being like pretty good, not like great, but there's always been a turn where like, oh, actually removing bleed and gaining an extra power is like in itself
could matter. Really good.
Very impactful. Especially on Gambit, right? Like, cause he often gets away on 1 or 2 health. And then
cause you're like bleeding. You're like, oh, watch this. Ding. I'm all better now.
Yeah. And then he's just like, you know, like, I feel like it's been multiple times where I'm like, you're shocked and bleeding. And it's like, well, actually, like, I have 2 power, you know? And I was like, oh, God damn it.
Fiend's back. You laugh. He cries.
Yeah.
So it would be mostly the same. I think it still runs into a lot of lists fairly well. And I like my game plans and a lot of scenario combinations. So I think I can kind of just run through that fairly reliably, essentially. And I've been playing it the past couple weeks too, since ScarCon. And I like how it plays. It's fun.
And you've got good separation anxiety teams in there, right? Like you could just play Cyclops, Emma, and Gambit on separation anxiety, and that's solid.
Sorry, there's one change. I commit to the bit, and I drop Strange for Cable.
Yes. Approve.
Yeah. You gotta fully commit now. So, it doesn't hurt that during the fight back from CarCon that Strange broke off from the circle. I mean, it's like a minor correction job. I just haven't bothered to go glue him back to the base. So, Cable wins.
Sorry, just trying to make sure I don't drop anything. You can kind of see it because it's on camera, but I actually redid the basing for my Strange boy. And so he's on like an Apocalypse pedestal.
Yeah.
But I was like, I've not played him since I redid that.
I mean, Strange is good, and he's a very good character, and he fits well, and he's probably better than Cable in a lot of matchups. There's just like the whole combination of the fact that like the cards do play into him better because he's an X-Man. But it's just like a fun gimmick, so I like it.
I mean, I think Cable definitely has game.
Cable has game. There's just, because I don't have a lot of rerolls in the lists naturally, I basically want the Zemo Cable package to be like, I'm going to try to blow something up and hope it dies very quickly.
You might consider, I don't know if you could like officially make it part of your roster, but if you could include some X-Force cards, because even if you don't want to play it in a normal game, you could flex X-Force for separation anxiety, right? And you could play like Cable X-23 Gambit, Cable X-23 Zemo, right?
So I said it from the very beginning. The only reason I didn't take X-Force cards is because I knew I would just play X-Force.
Oh, okay.
I know myself well enough.
But you've done your thing. You will have like completed your goals with.
Oh, by then.
This is fuck around time.
For fun.
Yeah, for Adepticon. Yeah. For Adepticon, you could mix in some X-Force cards, so you can can preserve the dream. You can let
Still
your wet works out.
Purity.
Yeah, cat and mouse with your with Josh.
Yes. This is like where it'd be easier if Magic went back to being Domino. So it would make the crossover way easier.
What was the thing that you lost that made you swap out Magic or put Magic in? Was it that you lost Voodoo or? I lost
Psylocke. And I thought I like to have 2 Magic users. If I'm going into, then I have like Shang-Chi, and I was like, I was on the fence about what I'm doing.
Psylocke could go back in too, even more like
just more
summer flex. Yeah.
I mean, I could go all affiliated at that point, right? Because I'm dropping. Well, it's a 2 threat. That's the problem. I'd have to take Honey Badger, and that's
Yeah, no. You were playing Toad, right?
Yeah, I was playing Toad.
Yeah, I think you still keep Toad.
But there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
Toad just run around.
Yeah, totally.
So, what are you going to play? What are you bringing with you?
I mean, I definitely would be interested in bringing Cabal, right? So that because I feel like that would be fun to play both in like any just like general pickup game, but like also would be fun if we did some drinking separation anxiety in the evenings. But I don't know if I have that like roster figured out enough.
There's a lot of fun.
I know that
Red Skull 3 is very fun. It's a very fun boy.
Yes,
I played that for a while.
Played him. I've played him a fair amount of times. It's more the what missions does that roster want? Like, I certainly haven't refined that, but I have like plenty of games with Zemo and Red Skull 3 and, all of those things. We could be like X-Men bros, and I could bring Storm X-Men with,
just come in, zaps.
Yeah.
Like, Storm is fun. Not like, say she wouldn't be fun. I just think maybe Ironmonger would actually be really interesting.
Start Storm Ironmonger
jumping around.
Yeah,
like her being able to hop off him to go in lightning stuff.
Yeah, or
whoever
hopping off of him.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking like, how far she could threaten at that point.
Yeah,
like those two by themselves could essentially handle a side of the board between the two of them because she has placement, he has positions. Like, oh, you just got it. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I'm certainly tempted to put some Cyclops on the table after your stuff, though. So, I mean, there is a non-zero chance that we could both be playing the X-Mans should games come up.
Glad that game was recorded just to sort of watch how the list plays in real time. It's sort of hard to articulate properly because I basically have to give like a round over round like breakdown of what's going on and how I'm like shifting across the board and do the whole rotation. But I'm rotating in almost every activation. Like, I'm just, like, moving across the board.
Yeah, there's nothing in it that's, like, overtly strong, right? Except maybe, like, Emma, to a certain degree, is just, like, overtly good. But it's a lot of... It's, like, out-positioning your opponent, like, as a list, right? Which you would think is kind of a Web Warriors thing. But it was really interesting watching you play that list and just how much the sort of, like, entire package was like surprisingly good at out positioning your opponent. Like there's just so much to it, right? You've got X-23 spenders and like Cyclops hit and running and field leadering and like Emma like throwing and like placing herself. You've got Headmistress and To Me My X-Men and like it was just like a Gambit, Parting Shot Away. Like you had just like so many layers of non-traditional movement that just gives you so many opportunities to, end up being in a better position, not like a scoring position, but like literally a better position on the mat. And there's so much of it. It's every time you're doing it. Now, mind you, it would probably be a list that's really easy to like totally fuck up.
Yes.
Right? Because it's the more decisions on yourself, the more chances you are to be in the wrong position afterwards.
What's really important is to sort of understand where your opponent can project threat to, and what could they really threaten if you were to move around. And it's like, oh, this model is actually in danger. I need to get out of here. Yep. You'd see me do that. I was like, oh, I need to abandon this front right, like right now.
Yes. Yeah,
like I can't fight this fight. And you have to think about this when you're doing activations. Because you're like, okay, is this model important enough to save? Like, is this model activation afterward? Like, is there an extract? Are they holding a side of the board? I want to move other models to like reinforce them in some way, so you need to buy time. Like, am I willing to use Xavier's Dream on this character to essentially not guarantee, but give them a reasonable chance that it's hard to tap them for most characters, unless you have like the throw or something, right? And then get like a sacrifice in range to make it difficult? Or is it, I just abandon this character, maybe they live, maybe they die, who cares? Because it's more important to reposition the other side of the table and actually get rid of or throw another model. Like there are times where I just activate just to throw a model off a point and walk back. I'm like, the worst you can do is double walk towards me. I gave you no power. You can't throw me. And then you just like stare at me like, I don't know.
No, I agree with all of that. Yeah, actually, the more that I think about it, the more I think it would be super funny for both of us to show up playing mutants, and just like lean into the vibe of the
fun times.
The shit on like my Spotify feed has been like how to make mutants good from the beginning, like
from the step one,
and we have You didn't know that's what you signed up for, but it was hidden in the contract somewhere, and you read it. You're like, I guess I got to make Cyclops.
I guess we got to figure this out, right? And again, I think each leader plays very differently from each other, and that I don't think there is crossover in their lists. I think that's actually like the fault in the logic with the people try to do like, oh, I can fit this like double game plans. Like, no, I think you have to fully commit to each one.
It's really tough. It's probably easier to dual affiliate than it is to like
weirdly. I think it is.
Them. Yeah,
I think it weirdly is because like they want different models in their list because they have different goals they're trying to achieve, and that like changes the requirements, and that's really what it is.
It's also like probably a different crisis loadout, right? Yeah. Like there's just a lot of layers to how you're building it, but it's definitely got me thinking. I'm like, okay, well, how would I build Storm these days, right? But man, I do think there's a lot of potential, and so like maybe like a slightly more offensive Storm list. I
mean, Storm can get super like I'm thinking of Storm on Scoundrels, where she's like she lightnings you can't attack her, and if you do get in range, she has cover, and you're like, well, she has cover anyway. You're like, yeah, but now you can't get rid of her. It's like, yeah, and then you have a model in the middle you can hop off and get in. You're like, oh, this is just crazy.
Now her leadership like stacks with Scoundrels. Scoundrels used to be like kind of a bad, well, not bad, but like you felt like you were losing some of the benefit. But you're like, well, you shoot me, I have cover and a defensive reroll, and you're like, well, god damn it.
So I in my head, I would be trying to play a very condition heavy game with Storm, where I am doing all sorts of fun tricks to you, and I'm moving backwards. And you're slowed, you're shocked, you're stunned, you got staggers, and everyone's like, okay, your team is just sad, and I'm gonna like walk away now. So, goodbye.
Yeah.
It's like poison would matter a lot in that situation. It's like, okay, well, I'm not attacking you, you're poison, so like you're not doing anything. Like that's like the situation where poison matters the most. Yeah. Is where they have no way to affect you, and they have no power generation, so they can't like then you have pay to flip, so they can't even flip points. They're all sad, right? They're super sad.
Yeah. Could also like plan to play Storm like pretty wide, right? Because there are a lot of good threes in there. You're like, well, let's start with like Storm, Gambit, X-23, Beast,
like, that's all
and, and then splash a 2 and Ironmonger at I think that's what Beast, at 17.
is more fun in that list because he's a bigger base and his positioning, his random positioning can matter, right? Or across the games, gives you a cheap throw. Yeah, absolutely. And when you have so many models, his like 2 energy matters less because he can just try to dodge and get out of the way.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some interesting things to bring there. Now, Storm is not good at separation anxiety. She is actively bad on that mission. So I do have to remember if I'm bringing Storm. Yeah. I do have to bring a different plan for like what I would play on separation anxiety. But Hellfire Club is probably good on separation anxiety.
Hellfire Club is just good, period. But they are... Yeah, they would do very well. You could take a couple miles very easily. That would make it work.
Yeah.
Right, because like there's nothing wrong with Angel. Right? Emma and Angel like, get you across the board there, and you can go from there.
Now I'm trying to remember like who's actually in the Hellfire Club list. Because I do want to put Emma on the table more. I liked her as soon as I saw her, and I feel like I'm only getting more excited.
It's like an interesting combination. Like it would actually work with Storm. Ironically enough.
Yeah.
And if you put Psylocke in there, you could make it work.
Because Storm is affiliated.
Yep.
Psylocke is Hellfire Club. I forgot it. That was what I was like, wait a second.
I think you really just need Angel and you could essentially make the entire thing work.
Yeah. Well, Storm's affiliated, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm saying if you take Emma, Storm, Psylocke, Angel... You can take pretty much any X-Men you want after that point. You can make anything work. Like, you can literally do whatever you want.
You got plenty of room there. Because I was like, if I was like trying to get in games with Ironmonger, I do think it would potentially be fun to play Emma, Psylocke, Ironmonger as a separation anxiety team. Like that could be pretty solid.
Get right in your face. Like, hey, boo, you're like, oh no, get away.
Yeah, that actually sounds pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, it'd be really easy as long as there's another 4 that I bring, right? Maybe a Yondu, maybe, yeah, it would be really easy to like work in one other 4 somewhere.
Pretty easy selling point. And so I also just think
I was just thinking, I was like, I do want to try, Mind Stone Moondragon.
Again, the movement and all that fun jazz.
Yeah. You know, she's got a charge. With that, she's got bow in there.
Yeah.
Right? She's got cool kits. I could have weirdly, right? Moondragon has Shield Mind. I'm not misremembering that. I could have Shield Mind on both sides of the table. That's kind of funny.
I think Moondragon's very interesting. It's a very interesting character. And I look forward to trying her out at some point.
Well, and she's also big base, right? That's something that we haven't generally had, obviously be a great to have Mr. Sinister in there because he's also Hellfire Club. But I think I played him a little bit in Apocalypse and I did have fun in the games that I was playing him, but
he just feels off. I tried to make him work so many times. I tried him in Hydra. I tried him in Cabal. I don't know. It's about the tokens. It's all about those tokens, how they actually work. It's just got to change a little bit. But yeah, I want that guy to be so good. So I love that guy. I love that paint job too. He's a fun guy just to go through. He's got the red metallic skin going on. And he's just very iconic in the setting. Finishes everywhere.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with mine as well. But there's still an interest in Cyclops. There's a lot of things that go into Cyclops that I like my paint jobs and stuff for. When I redid my Cable basing and stuff with the Apocalypse theme, I was really sad that I just have barely played him since then. And
it's funny sometimes going through and painting a whole list and then being done and switching affiliations, right? Putting all this effort in. But I do look back and see what models, because I have a shelf with them all stacked together, and slowly seeing it get painted over time is a good feeling.
Literally drop my headset.
Yeah, it's just good I don't know. It's like a nice progression thing for me.
Yeah. Nope. I feel you. All right. Well, it sounds like we're probably going to be mutant
Madness.
A mutant menagerie. Mutant Madness is pretty good. We are the Mutant Madmen. That could be our that could be the name of our rap episode, right?
Okay,
like
yeah, we can go with
Adepticon.
That's actually the name of this episode.
Madmen.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, you know what? It could be. Yeah. You know, you're right. You're right. It's the name of this episode. We are the Mutant Madmen.
That's good.
That actually would have been like a pretty solid name of the podcast as well, right?
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, you know, if we ever needed to rebrand, because like the Mutant Madmen.
You could use the Magneto helmet and the M and have the second M below it and Mutant Madman. Yeah. Oh man.
We could do the two different Magneto M's, like do the helmet
yes.
and the M and do Mutant Madmen. And do the two different Magneto, like, oh my God.
It's a backup idea now.
Such a good idea, Danny. How were we not more prepared for this?
How were we not more prepared for anything?
So hey, did you watch your game on Vince's channel?
I didn't finish watching my game on Vince's channel. I got halfway through and I got distracted.
Okay, couple questions for you. First off, how was my commentary for the game?
It was good. I liked it.
Obviously, you could totally critique me and be like, shit commentary. Fuck Omnis.
No.
Did you notice anything about your play in the parts that you watch where you're like, maybe I should have seen this? Maybe like, was there anything where you were kind of examining yourself?
I mean, I always re-examine decisions and how things can sort of play out, right? And like how you spend power. Like it always, like the catch-all is always the how committing to attacks, because it's always like the hit and run question. Is like, there was like a push where I had a push on the first attack, and I always had this like problem where if I get a push on the first attack with Cyclops, it's always like, do I not push, hoping that a second attack I can push, or do I take the first push and just walk away? And it's like, but I want the power. It's like, but if you don't push in the second attack, you're screwed. Like, what are you doing here?
And if you don't push, you're also probably not dealing damage, And
it's like, why would you do this to yourself? Why would you curse yourself like this?
Yeah. So in retrospect, having watched the game, obviously you won. How do you feel about your deployment in it, right? Because like Vince and I talked about it a little bit in that game where it didn't feel like either of you won deployment, right?
No.
It seemed very evenly matched where you both had interesting cross synergies, like based on the matchups. Is that how you felt? Or were you like, no, I fucking won deployment?
I'm looking at my notes from this. So the thing about that deployment, I basically had to bet where Emma was going to go, because my fear was the matchup, because Emma kind of gets locked in a little bit in that matchup where I don't really want her facing into his Emma.
Into his
matchup?
No.
Oh, no.
So it was Cable.
Sorry. It was the Cable matchup.
Oh, yeah. So it was Cable and Deadpool versus Emma and Gambit. And then you had Zemo, Cyclops, and X-23 against Crimson Dynamo, who I couldn't remember his name in the bonus episode. And Domino, and who's with, it was Crimson Dynamo. Oh, and Bullseye.
Both.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
so, okay. Yeah. The thing I didn't like was Dynamo and Bullseye, because they were going to buddy together. And I just sort of felt like I didn't really have an option on that side of the table. And then there was the Cable on the other side. Yeah. I was like, I'm actually fine with the Cable in the duel, because I was never going to get within the three. That's me. I just kept hanging back and backing off him until I could gauge and just flip over. And it's like, just don't stay within. That's like Cable's problem, is that if you can stay outside of that range 3, yes, his gun is kind of scary, but it's not as.
Played Cable back in the day.
Yeah.
Like anyone who played Cable back in the day, like just him at range 5 is, very fine.
His
He's not
problem
throwing
is
shit,
that,
right?
the turn 0, and the one problem he had was that the way Ego is facing, his Crimson Dynamo didn't have a great line to my side of the board. Like, not like a straight line. He had to go around a piece of terrain or go through it. And so I was like, okay, as long as I don't position in a triangle with my characters, I'm fine. And that's why I kept moving them off. And I even moved off the point at one point just to keep off from the beaming. I was like, if beaming 2 is bad, but beaming 3 is like a nightmare scenario. So I constantly felt like I was running away from that beaming Crimson. And that's why I ended up getting rid of Crimson. I was like, I just need to distract and get him engaged. And that's when I hard dove into him. I was like, here's Zemo. Deal with this. Hang out with him for a while and just keep distracted. And I'm going to do everything else over here.
I actually think the moment your opponent lost was actually when they backed up with Crimson Dynamo.
Correct. We talked about after the match. That was the mistake. I thought he was going to go forward. I thought he was going to dive my point into the disruption field. That's what I thought was going to happen.
I wanted him to go after your Zemo, because it was at the point that Zemo went towards the middle. And so I wanted him to place forward and go after Zemo, who was trying to run away. And he placed backwards towards the objective. And I was like, hunt motherfucking Zemo! Like, don't let him run away. Like, Danny will win if you let him pivot.
And he just completely backed, because I knew at that point he had no real way to cross.
Yes.
Like, he had no effective way to cross. I knew if I could abandon with Zemo with extra, I was like, we're out of here. Like, there's no reason to hang out. And so once I knew Zemo could back off, I was like, okay, I just need to buy a turn for Zemo to re-engage to then push deeper into the Cable side. I just need to weather Cable for a turn and go from there. Okay, that was that turn. Crimson.
And I
was so scary. I got super lucky. There was that beam where he didn't shock. Two characters. Yeah. And I, neither character got shocked. I was like,
is he going to shock both? Yeah.
I was like, woo, we're fine. We're good. We're good.
Yeah.
And I got lucky on that
where I do think you could have brought Children of the Atom. I think that
was the matchup where I think I should have brought Children of the Atom.
Yeah.
And that would have made I think it was the Cyclops attack would have been more reliable, because he got shocked super early and was just sad for most of the game. Couldn't do much.
Yeah.
That was good.
But I thought, when you left X-23, basically on his objective, and he started totally focusing on her. I think I said it in Vince's video. I was like, this guy just walked right into Danny's trap. Danny is so happy about this. He is so happy that X-23 is getting targeted and focused. He's like, this was literally her job.
It's just to stand there and look very scary. And then she just stood there and didn't do very much. She's like, she's just there to live. She's not there to be super scary.
I call it free bodyguard.
Yeah.
Right? That's sometimes, and this is something that I think people miss a lot, where if you just position the right character the right way, they get targeted when you actually are totally fine with it. And it's essentially free bodyguard. Right.
The ultimate problem
just keep attacking that character.
Him is that he knew, because I dove X-23 at the end of that turn, he's beginning the round, but if he ignores X-23 and tries to dive, if he tries to dive into the Crimson Dynamo, X-23 goes, okay, you're dead.
Yeah.
Right? You're just going to die. And I was like, I have Xavier's Dream. And I was like, reroll. I was like, she's probably fine. I'm like, what's the worst that could possibly happen here?
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those totally win-win situations for you.
It was Bullseye. And I was like, Bullseye's not going to scare her. Who cares? I'm just here to eat his lunch and get free kills off of him. And it's Bullseye's not reliable enough to kill her. So you're activating Crimson Dynamo. I was like, and getting Crimson Dynamo to not beam 2 characters is very good for me. Which is why I dove as hard as I could. I
didn't even think about that part, but yeah, that's totally right. You're like, okay, well, he wants to activate the character, but really, I mean, Domino would be the right character to activate.
Yeah.
Right? In theory, you're like, if you're going to try to kill her, you do Domino. But anyway, if you guys want to know what we're talking about, we're kind of pseudo doing commentary, but on Vince's channel, there is the round 2 game where Danny played Cyclops into X-Force. I joined Vince to co-commentate that game. It's a really interesting game. I really liked seeing Danny play it. So, and being able to share my thoughts. So I really appreciated that from Vince. And as you can see, we had a lot to talk about. Like, yeah. I've watched the game. Danny's played the game, watched the game, and we still want to talk about it more. Yeah,
it is. And it's also a game overall where the Deadpool health problem came into play, where it's like, okay, I'm ignoring Deadpool, splat, he dies. Like, yep. Thank you, game's over. And it's like, oh, that's bad. It's like, yep, very bad for you now.
Yeah, there's characters, Deadpool, Shang-Chi, there's characters that, like, when they get dazed, like, round 4, it can be so bad. Where you're like out of nowhere, you're like, oh, whoops. You know, I've had this happen in multiple of my games with Shang-Chi where he will survive and then be on, like, 1 health in round 4. And I'm like, this is actually really bad because this is the last round and they're going to probably casually take away my Shang-Chi activation. And I don't feel good about that. And Deadpool kind of runs into that where because he only has 4 health and if you've got a reasonable amount of threat near Deadpool, you can just end up in situations where like Deadpool, you lose a key activation on the last round of the game where there's no consequence to it, right? Like he doesn't get to activate again, so you don't have to worry about him spending power. You don't have to deal with the 6 health side, right? So a lot of things about that potential.
Yes. And it's also just, that matchup's so interesting because Cable is scary to a lot of people, but not to like Emma. And not to, so she's like, the 5 cover, like, yeah, I'm out of your range. Like, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And she's so, like,
you can always just, like, if you do get incinerated, you're just like, gone. All right. And then I place off the next one, and then I'm not incinerated. Like, get fucked.
Like, she's so, and the fact that she can throw medium is like, she's like, I'm going to keep you going further backwards unless you move. Yeah. So now you're forced to commit an action, so then you can't shoot me. This is great. I love it. Everything about this interaction is amazing.
Yeah. No, I dig it. All right. Well, Danny, I think this is probably a good time to close out the episode.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. Well, we're building hype. We will drop an episode before Adepticon. And we're going to do kind of a bit of maybe a meta analysis, some meta throw.
Talk about the future.
Sort of discussion. And, we're looking forward to seeing everyone at the, con of Adepti and, gonna be doing a lot of recording and stuff there. So, see you nerds at Adepticon.
Talk to you later.
Yeah.
What would you prefer? Yellow spandex